Hi, thank you for joining me for this edition of the George Salter Parents Workshop. My name is Mike Cadwallader and I'm the Assistant Principal at George Salter with responsibility for behaviour and attendance, and the following slides will hopefully provide you with an insight into what our expectations are and the way we operate in the Academy with regards to behaviour and attendance. We have day-to-day expectations of students, parents and of ourselves, and the following three slides are going to explain those to you. First of all, the students. Students are expected to follow the PAWS agenda. This means they are to be punctual to school and to all lessons, to attend every lesson every day, to wear the correct uniform, to adhere to the highest of standards at all times in everything that they do, and to provide the right equipment for lessons, including their planner. This would also include any kit for PE, dance, or any ingredients required for any cooking lessons, for example. We also expect students to follow our three golden rules of being respectful, responsible, and safe towards all members of the academy community, to accept responsibility for their actions when they make mistakes, to follow instructions and respond positively to challenge when issued, to try their hardest at all times, even when faced with challenges either inside or outside of the classroom, and to represent George Salter in the best possible way within the community. As parents, we require you to ensure that your child follows the PAWS agenda, to ensure that your child follows the three golden rules, to encourage your child to make the most of the opportunities offered at the Academy, and to give support and encouragement in all Academy work, including homework, to attend parents' evenings and work with the Academy to help your child progress and show interest in your child's learning, to support the Academy's efforts in maintaining proper order and discipline so that it is and remains a safe and secure place for students and staff, to support the Academy's behaviour policy by giving consent to same-night detentions when necessary and accepting other sanctions when they occur. It's also important that you're available to be contacted via telephone at all times. This is to ensure speedy and necessary communication between the Academy and home. These calls will only be made if absolutely necessary. So we'd really appreciate your support here. And we'd also require parents to inform the Academy promptly of any reasons for absence. And this needs to happen on the first day of absence and any subsequent days following. In turn, what will the Academy do for you and the students? Well, they will provide a broad and balanced curriculum which seeks to meet the needs of all its students. It'll ensure that children are taught well, cared for and treated fairly. We'll help and encourage children to make constructive use of their talents, provide an orderly, secure and happy environment in which your child can learn and grow up. We will keep parents and carers informed of your child's progress and offer advice on how you can help to support this progress. We will listen to you and have due regards to parents' concerns and anxieties and provide opportunities for you to discuss these with us. We will keep parents informed about our Academy activities and the opportunities to participate in them. And we'll also provide outstanding pastoral care for your child, ensuring they feel secure and a valued member of the George Salter community. With regards to punctuality and attendance, our school gates close at 8:38, with students being expected to be in their tutor rooms ready to learn by 8:40 a.m. Each day, students receive 2 session marks, that is for AM and PM, while they also receive individual lesson marks, and we keep a very tight track on these for safeguarding purposes. It's really important that we know where all students are at all times. In the morning, if a student arrives after 8:40 but before 9:10, they will receive an L code on the register. That basically means that they are late for that session. If they arrive after 30 minutes of the session start, so in other words, after 9:10 in the morning, they receive what we call a U code. This means that they were absent for that session. This has an impact on their attendance figure. Our attendance target is 100%. We really would like all students to be in 100% of the time. We realise that this is an extremely ambitious target and it's not achievable by all. However, by having that target there for all students, It gives everybody something to aim for. That totals a total of 6 lessons a day, 30 lessons a week, which is the equivalent of 1,170 lessons per year. If a child's attendance falls to 90% or below, then this is known as persistently absent, or PA, on the screen. This would mean that the student has missed 117 lessons in a year, and that's the equivalent of 19 and a half full days of learning. This will have obvious impact on future choices, academic progress, etc. Continued poor attendance can result in prosecution. However, we will always do what we can to avoid this from happening and put support and intervention in place for both students and family to avoid this ever being reached. Please contact the attendance officer or your child's student welfare manager if you require further support with this. And just on the in terms of a sanction for lateness, if a student arrives late before 9:10, then they will be issued with a 20-minute lunchtime detention on the same day. This happens at the start of lunchtime and gives them 20 minutes at the end, which is ample time for them to go and get their lunch. If they arrive after 9:10, then this sanction is escalated to a 40-minute detention after school on the same day. Our uniform. Our uniform really is quite simple. Compulsory items are a black George Salter blazer, and this is to be worn at all times. Black trousers or a skirt, white school shirt, black shoes, and a house tie. Students do have the option of wearing a black V-neck jumper, and this would be worn underneath their blazer, not as an alternative for a blazer. Any coats must be black. Black hoodies are not an acceptable alternative. Black jackets are also not an acceptable replacement for a blazer, and we will challenge students who do not adhere to this policy, and we do expect students to be proactive and parents be proactive with regards to addressing any issues that we raise. We also have a policy for nose piercings, and earrings are limited to one stud in the lobe of each ear. Again, students should be expected to be challenged should they not follow any of these expectations. Rewards are a really important part of what we do at George Salter, and on a day-to-day basis, these are issued for ambition, belief and courage. And these are issued for students who go above and beyond the minimum expectation. So they need to do a little more than just turn up for the lesson and be there in order to be rewarded with these A, B, C points, as we refer to them as. Star Student and Peer Star Student Awards are also issued on a lesson-by-lesson basis for exceptional performance within that lesson, and staff are asked to make at least one positive phone call each week for those students who have excelled. All of these rewards are recorded by staff on class charts, and all parents and students have access to class charts through their own personal login. Again, if you are struggling to get on with this or you need any further support for either yourself or your child, please ask your child to speak to their student welfare manager or form tutor, who will be able to direct them. Students who demonstrate positive behaviour across the year qualify for the end of year rewards trip, and this all falls in part of the Salter Scholar Programme, and this at the moment includes trips to Drayton Manor and Waterworld. When students don't adhere to the behaviours that we expect, then we unfortunately do have to sanction. Our lowest tower detentions are late detentions. This is the 20 minutes at lunchtime, as previously discussed, and may also take the form of a teacher detention, which could be as short as 10 minutes. This may be 10 minutes at the start of break, the start of lunch, or immediately at the end of school. If a behaviour is of a higher tariff or a detention is not attended, then the length of detention is increased, and this may be in the form of a removal detention, which is 30 minutes, a pastoral detention, head of department detention, which could be any length up to 1 hour, or an SLT detention, which is 1 hour and 50 minutes, and that is on a Monday and a Thursday evening straight after school. When behaviour is more extreme, then an internal suspension, which we refer to as reset, will be issued, or we may direct the student to an internal suspension in an alternative school. Again, this is determined on a case-by-case scenario, dependent on the history, the circumstances of the student, and obviously the level of behaviour that has been shown. In rarer occasions, a suspension may be issued. These are days when students are not allowed to come to school, such as the extreme nature of their behaviour, and this is always followed up with an on-site meeting with a member of the senior and or the pastoral team prior to the student returning to mainstream lessons. One of our key sanctioning tools is our Remind, Warn, Remove system. Now, this is a system that is operated by all classroom teachers, and it allows behaviour to be corrected before a detention is issued. So, a student may be performing poorly in the classroom. This could be down to low-level disruption, defiance, failure to complete work, or any similar type behaviour. Initially, the student will be tackled for the poor behaviour, and staff will remind them about the expectations and what they need to do to address this. At this stage, this is not a formal sanction, it is simply an opportunity for the student to address their behaviour. It may be that the student has to take on board more than one reminder to get the message, and it is expected by staff that they will share with the student what they need to do in order to address their behaviour to stop the behaviour from escalating further. If the student still does not correct their behaviour despite the reminders, then the member of staff will be placed in a position where they will warn the student of their conduct and issue them with a detention. This will be a class teacher detention and recorded on class charts. Continued poor behaviour will result in the student being removed from that lesson and placed in an alternative classroom with work to complete. If this happens, they are expected to attend a same-day 30-minute sanction at the end of the day, and here they will discuss the behaviour with the class teacher with the aim of repairing the damaged teacher-student relationship. It really is seen as a positive outcome with regards to this conversation at the end of the day, and it is absolutely key that the student turns up in order for this relationship to be addressed, because the last thing we want is the student to be turning up to any future lessons with that relationship between them and the parent being bad. With regards to pastoral support, the form tutor is the very first line of support for any student with pastoral issues, and there are 10 tutor groups in every single year group. So there's 10 form tutors, one for each tutor group in the year group. We have one student welfare manager who oversees each particular year, and this is a non-teaching member of staff who deals with pastoral concerns. So they will look at attendance, they will look at behaviour, and they will look at safeguarding of your child. They work alongside a head of year who also shares the same responsibilities, but they also look at your child from an academic perspective as well. And again, there's one per year group, one head of year per year group. We have a STEPS team who support individuals and small groups of students once referred for a range of behaviour, attendance, mental health and safeguarding support. This may be small group intervention, working one-to-one with members of staff to get to the core of issues and work on addressing any concerns that student has, but either with coming to school or within school or from a wider, more social perspective. We have a safeguarding team of one designated safeguard lead and 2 deputy designated safeguard leads, and these are there to support students and families through any safeguarding matters that may come along. We have a family support worker to work with students and families with extra needs. We have an attendance officer who offers attendance support, a SENCO who offers specific support for students with CND needs, and we have a STRIVE team who look after students who are maybe struggling to come to school due to attendance concerns, and that offers an intervention with the way of getting the student back into school. And we also have FOCUS, which is about getting students back mainstream ready who may be finding it difficult to currently get on with a mainstream education.